welcome back to my channel. This is Dori. I'm a teacher of English, and today I want to show you what you can do when you get stuck in speaking. So I'm sure that sometimes when you talk in English about a certain topic, you get stuck every now and then and you do not have anything else to say. The worst part is that sometimes you introduce that you have something else to say, and then you just stand there awkwardly mumbling something, using pauses, maybe smiling a little bit, but no other thought comes into your mind. In these moments, you really want the examiner to move on to the next question, or better yet, to pretend that this never happened. Does this sound familiar? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Tip number 1. Try to think in English as much as possible and not in your mother language. Obviously, in your mother language, you have the highest level possible. You know all the vocabulary you need, all the words you need in order to talk about a certain topic. All the ideas in the world and opinions come easily in your mother language. However, if you try to translate these thoughts and ideas into English from your mother tongue, you're in for an epic fail. Why? Well, first of all, it is quite difficult to translate on the spot in such a short notice from your mother tongue to English. Even experienced users have a problem with that. And also, in the exam, during the exam, the speaking exam, you're going to be anxious. So this is going to be a little bit hard for you to accomplish. Also, most probably, the vocabulary of your mother language is not as advanced as the vocabulary you know in English. And even if it is, the different syntax while you try to translate your ideas on the spot may confuse you. This is the number one reason people get stuck in speaking. They think in their mother language and they try to translate that in English. So please don't do that. So in my opinion, it is better to think in English at all costs. You may be simple, but at least you're going to be fluent. And this is what we're aiming for. And now you're going to ask me, how do I think in English? Well, this is not a thing that happens from one day to the next. This is not an overnight success. This is not something that it works magically. It needs everyday practice. What you can do, we have millions of thoughts every day, so try to think in English with simple phrasing. For example, instead of thinking I have to go to work in your mother language or I have to study, do that in English with simple phrasing, and gradually you will be able to do that with more complex phrasing than that. Tip number 2, speak as you write. What do I mean by that? One thing that will greatly help you while you try to give an answer in English is to keep your thoughts organized. So, do you remember what we do in writing? We write our introduction. We then have the main body with our ideas by giving reasons and examples, and then we have a conclusion when where we wrap up the main points of our essay. So this is exactly what you can do with speaking in less words, of course. You need an opening phrase just to introduce your answer. Then you need your main answer defending that by giving reasons and examples, and then a very short closing sentence that will help you sound natural and will help you avoid pauses and awkward moments that you do not know what else to say, or should you move on talking and stuff like that. So let's see how you can do that, and with practice you're not going to get stuck again.
So let's just say that they ask you this question. If a movie is based on a book, would you prefer to read the book or to watch the film? Okay, when you're asked questions like that, especially in part 3, you should notice that these questions could be writing topics too. So my advice is not to answer right away by expressing your view. Firstly, use 1 or 2 general sentences to introduce a general statement based on the main theme of the question. This will help you greatly to earn some time in order to organize your thoughts. For example, some people would argue that watching the film is better since it will be much more fascinating and so much faster to watch the characters alive. But I beg to differ. As you can see above, you don't really answer the question, not just yet. You just give a hint, talking about what most people would generally prefer in this case and where you stand. This is all you need to grab the examiner's attention. This is your introduction in terms of writing, let's just say, and now it's time to actually start answering your question. So let's see what you can do. The way I see it, it is much more fascinating to read the book. Why? Now is the time to explain your reasons for that by giving examples. So don't get lost with that. Keep this organization in your mind. Choose 2 or 3 reasons the most and focus on them. Move on to your next point only when you complete the previous one. So let's go and read an example answer. The way I see it, it is much more fascinating to read the book. When you read the book, you use your imagination in order to build the scenery, the characters, their appearance, and well, pretty much everything. This is your first point, the first point you make. On the contrary, if you watch the film, everything is already made for you, so I'm not really fond of that. You give another reason why based on your main point, okay? Furthermore, you want to say something else. In most cases, films are very different from the book due to time constraints, I suppose, and eventually everyone who has read the book says it was good, but not as good as the film. So, of course, you can say more than that if you like, or even different things, but I'm just giving you an example that uses linking phrases, furthermore, on the contrary, reasons, and examples. So, if you said everything you had to say here, and mind you, you don't have to say a lot of things as long as your answer is organized. So, now it is time to wrap it up. This is the number one point that people get stuck. They don't know what else to say, or they don't know if they have said enough in their previous answer, or simply they just don't know how to finish off their thoughts. So in any case, the only thing you need is the right phrase. There are a number of phrases that can help you conclude. Let's read some of them. All in all, overall, well, maybe this is what it needs to be done, if they ask you your opinion about something that needs to be done. To sum up, I would generally say that. Okay, I'm sure you can find more by yourself if you think about it a little bit more, but the above phrases can help you get started according to each question. So, here we go in this particular case. Overall, I know that I probably belong to the small minority, but actually, I firmly believe that a book is always better.
Try to practice your speaking answers this way and try to use these standard phrases I shared with you as much as you can, and I'm sure that gradually you're not going to get stuck in speaking ever again. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it helps. If this is your first time here, I would like to see you subscribe for more videos related to English. If you have any questions or comments, you can ask me here or on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and of course my website. All links are down below. Thank you very much for watching again. Take care. Bye-bye.